I'm Doug Bergner, Senior Vice President for Equity Title Agency. Have you ever wondered why some closings occur seamlessly in just a few hours and others seem to go on for days? Let's take a look at the process and the respective time frames for each step along the way. Understanding how the process works can help you control your closings and create realistic expectations. Loan documents are prepared by the buyer's lender and are generally emailed to the escrow officer. This is where the closing process begins, and timely, accurate loan documents are critical to every closing. Once received, the escrow officer must download and print the documents, but because many lenders require passwords or have special proprietary software programs, it can sometimes take up to 1 hour just to successfully print the loan docs. After the loan package is printed, the escrow officer must carefully review and follow the lender's closing instructions. These instructions can be general, such as providing a loan closing protection letter from the title insurance underwriter, or specific to the transaction or borrower, such as obtaining a letter of explanation for credit report issues or requiring title insurance endorsements for the loan policy. Lender's instructions can be up to 25 typewritten pages long or more and contain dozens of requirements that the EO must ensure are met prior to closing. This step can take an hour or more. Also contained in the lender's instructions are the loan fees charged by the lender, its affiliates, and service providers, as well as other transaction fees that the lender either requires the borrower to pay, will not allow the borrower to pay, or requires to be shown in a specific manner on the HUD-1. The escrow officer will transcribe these costs and fees onto the HUD-1, along with updated loan payoffs, HOA fees, taxes, and other charges, credits, and prorations to produce the complete HUD-1 settlement statement. This process can take 1 to 2 hours if all needed costs have been properly provided. Once it is prepared, the EO will send the HUD-1 to the agents and to the lender for approval. Ideally, obtaining the lender's HUD approval takes 1 to 6 hours, but can run into the following day in some cases. After the lender approves the HUD-1, the buyers are scheduled for signing. The EO will contact the buyer and provide a final dollar figure for closing. It is important that the buyer is prepared and available as soon as the escrow officer is ready to see them. The buyer must also be prepared to arrange a wire deposit for their closing funds. Failure to have good funds will delay the closing. The signing itself takes about an hour, but the buyer availability or failure to have wired funds will affect the timing of the closing. After the buyer signs, the EO must repackage the loan docs, making copies, certifying selected documents, providing lender requirements, including insurance policies and required documentation according to the lender's instructions. Repackaging generally takes up to an hour and can take more time if the escrow officer has to track down additional requirements. Then the loan package is returned to the lender for final funding approval. Delivery may be via email, courier, or express mail as determined by the lender. Returning documents to the lender can take from 1/2 hour up to 24 hours depending upon the lender's delivery requirements. Simultaneous with repackaging the loan, the escrow officer is also preparing the recording package to be sent to Equity Title's recording desk for review. This package includes all documents to be recorded, as well as documentation satisfying all the title requirements in the preliminary title report. Prior to being recorded in the county record, all packages must be double-checked for accuracy and completeness. Preparing the recording package will generally take about an hour, and delivery to the recording desk takes about 2 hours. Once the lender receives the executed loan package, they'll review it for accuracy and completion. Once approved, funds will be released to escrow. Lender approval can take 2 hours to 24 hours depending upon the policies and workload of the lender. Generally, loan proceeds are wired from the lender into escrow. It will take from 2 hours to overnight to receive the funds depending upon the time the wire is originated and the location of the lender's bank. Only verified receipt of funds into Equity's bank account constitutes funding to escrow, and the closing cannot occur prior to receipt of all funds and loan proceeds. Once escrow has been notified that all lender and buyer funds are received, the escrow officer will notify the recording desk to release the documents for recording with the county recorder. The recorder will usually confirm the recording with 1 hour and then, congratulations, your escrow is closed. As you can see, there are minimum time frames that each of the closing tasks require. And in many cases, these time frames can be much longer depending upon the policies and reaction time of the lender and the availability and performance of the buyer. Only a coordinated effort by agents, lender, buyer, and escrow can assure your timely closing. And a slip or delay by any party can back up the entire process. That's why it's important to know your transaction is closing with knowledgeable professionals like those of us at Equity Title Agency. Again, I'm Doug Bergner with Equity Title. Please contact any of our Valley locations if you have questions and to open your escrows.